Well, here is the tank. Well, there's a lot of rust up there. When I treated the bus, the undercarriage, obviously the tank was in between, so I couldn't paint any areas under the tank. So now I'm going to have the chance to do so. I need to buy these mats. They sell them still, so I actually do have foam like this. Look at this. I think that this is kind of rusty. This is the neck that holds the pump, I think. So this bus, I'm not 100% sure. It has a lift pump, and sometimes it shoots itself off. I wonder. Look at that piece. I wonder if that if it's related to the fuel not getting there, or whatever, for whatever reason. So I was thinking to replace the pump. So I'm going to remove this, which could be pretty easy, and see how this is mounted, because if this is part of the tank and this is all rusted, then I'm going to have to figure out something. So hopefully this is not part of the tank, although it could be, but it's really crusty. This bus came from New York, so yep, this can happen. Yeah, well, I need 2 hands for this, but I'm going to remove this and see what happens. The gas tank straps destroyed themselves, like they rusted out. And one day I was walking and my kid said, "Hey, Daddy, there's this smells of diesel." And I looked down and, sorry, it smells bad, they said. And I looked down and there is diesel under the bus. And then I look and the filler neck was bent a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I put one of those buckets. Didn't think too much about it. And then I walk, I don't know, 2 days later, and I keep smelling it. And I looked under, and it's not dripping anymore. This tank was full of diesel. So 67 gallons to 165 liters of diesel was full to the top. Like the filler neck, diesel came out of the filler neck. That's why the filler neck was leaking. Anyway, so I look under and I see that the gas tank is tilted this way. And I'm like, oh my God. So I still needed to take the gas tank out to install the pickup tube for the diesel heater. So here I just drilled the hole. It's pretty easy. I clean up the diesel tank. It's all cleaned up inside. But I need to re-vacuum it again. I washed it with water and all that. I'm not going to clean the outside because it's not needed. And obviously, amazing GM design, these tabs were all destroyed. So I had to buy a kit to replace this with another piece of metal. So it's going to get rusted again. But anywho's, patent pending, bloody piece of metal with holes in it. So it's $50 US for this. If I knew that this was like this, I would have made it myself. But anyhow, that's the brand. Made in the USA, sure, but it's a bit too expensive for what it is. It's a powder coated piece of metal, sure, but it's going to rust out anyhow. Because look at this. It's like grime and mud gets here, water gets here and pulls over. This is going to rust at some point. But I couldn't put a ring again because these were basically rust welded together with the ring. So obviously I had to get rid of it. It was like tons of rust came out of this. So I ground them down, and now I'm going to put this on. I bought a new fuel pump that I have there, AC Delco Gold, because I don't want to take this tank out. And I bought this cheapo freaking Amazon thing. This guy is a pickup tube. Is this guy here. It comes with this pretty big long tube. It's pretty tiny, and I thought, oh man, this is too tiny. But then I realized that actually it's the same 3/16 ID. Like the tube itself it looks really tiny, but it's actually the same, basically the same size. So I thought about buying a bigger one, but in reality, I don't think that they need that much fuel. There is I don't know if you remember, but the West Bastos heater has its own fuel pump. So this is basically going to be connected to that fuel pump. And I have some filters that I got for motorcycle filters, so I'm going to put one of those screen meshes at the end of this, because things could still get into the tank and it will clog this little hole really quickly. So I'm basically drilling. I drilled the hole. I have it ready, but I need to take the hose off and then screw it in. It comes with this nylon nut. Hopefully that's fuel resistant nylon. Anyhow, so and basically you just screw it in. It's pretty easy. And for me, this will go this way because that's where the heater will go, to the back of the bus. Yeah, and that's about it. So I'm basically I just drilled the hole, like I said. Just drilled the hole. I need to vacuum. Install this first and then vacuum after. Vacuum before and then put this, because otherwise the vacuum tube is not going to go through with this thing. And then I need to kind of bend this with the filter so that it's at the bottom of the tank, so we can pick up the fuel. We can put the new fuel pump and the new super awesome ring thing, and then put the tank back. I bought all the stuff for the replacement, so I have as you can see here, I bought the mats. So these are the pieces of kind of like foam that go there. They were like $2 or something like that. $4 I think. Anyways, they go here. So they all got destroyed. So I need new ones. I bought 2 new fuel filters. The hardware, because although the hardware was usable. I bought new hardware. If you're changing the tank, you better buy all the stuff new. It's just forget about it. Especially, I didn't know that, if this pump, which is the old pump that had the 6.5 diesel, I didn't know if that pump was the problem. So that's the pickup, I guess. I don't know how they're called, but there's a fuel pump inside the tank, so it's submerged. And then after that, there is a prime pump, I believe, which is after the tank and before the injection pump. I have a Marine Carter pump. It's really big, so it has a lot of PSI. I have a new 6.5. It's a kit that they sell for using a new relay for the pump to work instead of the oil pressure switch that was wired that used to be used to power the pump. So it has more humph for the pump to, like, more voltage for the pump to work, and or no voltage, amperage, I guess. Anyhow, so I had some trouble with the bus where it will shut off and it will not run. And I have been chasing it for a while. Like, if you let it sit for like 2 hours, then it will run again and whatever. So what happened with the tank was coincidental with the problem that I had, but I needed to put the pickup tube to do the heating. So anyhow, so I'm replacing that pump just in case. The problem was that this pump had issues to push fuel, and that's why the bus didn't run. I'm trying to figure it out, but because the tank is such a amount of work, then you just do it. No, you just replace the whole thing, because you don't want to see this thing again, hopefully in 10 more years or whatever. So that's the reason why I'm changing the pump, because of that weird problem that hopefully will this will be the fix. I don't believe so, but I have hopes. Hopes are free. So anyhow, so I'm going to put all this together. Many years ago, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the bus has been a 10-year project that my wife believes that I'm never going to finish. But anyhow, I rust proof the whole bus under it, but I never removed the tank to rust proof under the tank. So once I removed the tank, I realized that the whole, cross member and all that were all rusted. So I had to do the same process. So basically I needle scaled the whole bus. So I was there for like 3 hours and cleaning all that, and then I put a cleaner on it, and then I painted it. So it's all paint with Tremclad. That one I use a sprayer to paint it, so it's all rust proofed, and now it's dry, so I can put the tank back. So I had to do all that just to get to here. So anyhow, I'm going to finish this, put the tank back. For people that never done this before, you can lower the tank with just ratchet straps, or a jack in one side, and then you do one side and the other. I would not recommend doing one side or the other in case you have like hard lines. In my bus, they're all soft lines, but they're one of those plastic tubes instead of rubber. So if you tilt it too much, for example, in this side, you might actually break those lines here. Certainly, you're going to break them from here because the pump has like, those connectors there, those quick connectors. You certainly will break these guys here, from the base if you tilt it too hard. Why? Because the lines, they go into the frame here, they go like this, they go like that, and follow the frame up towards the front of the bus, but they are held by these type of clips. So, and they are really tough clips. So if you move it down, you basically you tilt the gas tank so much that I think this is going to break. So you will end up replacing the pump no matter what. But anyhow, it's kind of easy to remove them. You can buy a kit to remove those things. I use pliers to remove it, but they sell these kits to remove AC lines and fuel lines, so you can use one of those. I haven't used this one because I already removed it, but I bought it because I want to just have the tool, because I'm going to work more on the bus with that kind of stuff. And you can buy this guy too, which is similar. So basically, open it up, close on one side, and that clips both sides of the quick connect, and then you can remove it. So that's how I disconnected those lines, and that's why if you do it with ratchet straps and you lower one side and the other slowly, you remove one side and the other slowly like that, and then you are not going to damage anything. And if you lower it a little bit, you have more access to disconnect the stuff from that side and stuff like that. So it's not a big of a deal. It was actually far more work to get all the fuel out. And 167 liters. I have diesel there and a bunch of those over there. Oh, it's a mess. Anyways. Well, that looks better than I thought. I had this filter for when I was fixing my Saab. I installed an aftermarket pump, and it had like this weird sock at the end, or filter at the end. And I bought a bunch of filter for motorcycles that fit on that pump to adapt it, and it works really well. And the pump is way better than the original, anyhow. But so basically, I drilled a hole in the back of this. And I push it through it, and now you see the line there. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. You can see the line there at the end. Yeah, a little bit. You see the tube there. It's all the way in, so it's not going to move. So basically, I'm going to. I need to put this after I pass it through it, obviously, but that should work. It's not going to come off or anything, and with movement or anything. And even if it does, it doesn't really matter. But that should work. Well, this is Pepper engineering at its best. So I put some tape there to hold the nut. It's a 3/8 nut. Well, the problem is my arm doesn't reach all over the way there. I should have thought about it, because I could have drilled here instead, but because I'm special, well, that fits there. I can put it inside like this, and then I can reach and hold it this way. So I put one of these. I have these rubber plugs for different size lines. They are for hydraulics, so they're pretty big, but they come with a smaller one, so you can, when you disconnect the oil line from the car or AC line, you can just plug it right away, and that doesn't leak, or fuel line too. So that will reach all the way there with the nut in place. Then I can rotate that and tight it until it's really tight, because I don't have movement obviously, so I have to do it from the top. Once it's tight, then I can slide this out. Then the pickup tube will be very close to about here, and then I can slide the screen. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just can't believe that this worked. I put it this way, as I said, and totally blind. My arm fits here, halfway, and then I cannot get my arm anymore. So I have to fish this through this way so I can go around and up. I have to bend the pipe, put the nut there, and start rotating this, but I needed to bend the pickup pipe enough so I can go around this way. It worked. I just can't say anything. This just works. And you can see it here. If I move you down there, you realize that the tank is not that clean anymore, but you see the nut there. So it worked, which is nice. And I put the sock there, but now I realize I have tons of water. I thought I cleaned everything, but you can tell there's dirt down there. So I'm going to clean that up before I put the pump together, and that's about it.